Welcome to my poster about classroom-based assessment. It's really about using recorded media to help students with self-evaluation and to help teachers with evaluation too. Sometimes we think about assessment as being like a black box. And so when students take an external test, they are often evaluated by criteria which they don't really know, and they may not understand some of the terminology like coherence or fluency. So my project was to try and see what criteria students would understand, and I'll present a tiny result about that. So we're interested in can-do statements as well as another way of scaffolding students' understanding of their own learning. Flipgrid is an app which lets students record little videos, and in my course we are doing a function-based course. So after students finish learning a function, for example, they might learn to request or to tell a story, they will make a recording, often with a partner, which demonstrates their usage of that function. So here I posted some dimensions of feedback. These are some of the things I was interested to investigate with students. Do they prefer getting their feedback digitally or on paper? Do they prefer email? Would they even like videoed feedback, which is something Flipgrid has started to allow us to do? Also, what's the impact in the short term, medium term, long term? Recently, I heard Peter Gu at the New Directions British Council Conference talking about validity in classroom-based formative assessment. He was talking about how classroom-based assessment is valid to the extent that we use the results for modifying our learning plan, and students can use the results of the classroom-based assessment to modify their learning. Whoa. That's me. This is just a quick view of my Flipgrid, and this is a view of what the students see. If I send them an email with their feedback, they have the default criteria, performance and ideas, and some comments from me. It's possible to add a video, and then the teacher can add videoed feedback, and students can review their own video. So typically, I'm asking them to write a reflection after they record. When asked, do you prefer getting Flipgrid feedback on paper or by email or by video or written and video? Recently, I asked my current class, and actually the preference was for written feedback, which was interesting. Most of them understood it. And so this brings me to using can-do statements to make the aims of the course more transparent. I'm often using can-do statements at the beginning, middle and end of a course. And so it's a planning tool, and it can be used well in conjunction with Flipgrid because, for example, if the function is asking follow-up questions, or strategy is asking follow-up questions, they can then do a Flipgrid in which they demonstrate that they can do that objective. So if you look at the summary view of the Google form, you can then use that to see which objectives students feel they haven't achieved. In this case, explaining reasons for my opinion seems to be easier than bringing other people into the conversation. So I know that they need more practice on, I can bring other people into the conversation. Here is our institutional rubric. So often students get kind of squashed between the classroom evaluation, which may be much more chunked down, easy language, and say the TOEIC, where they really don't know what's in that black box. This is the overall rubric that is used in my school, and the next slide is my breakdown of it, which I used to photocopy and give to students every time and highlight the level that I thought they were at and then add some written comments. Lately, I'm just appending this to the syllabus, and it seems that students understand, and when asked, did they want to get their points for content, I mean ideas and performance, which is the default on Flipgrid, did they want to get their points for pronunciation, fluency, grammar and interaction as per the school rubric? Most of them chose more complex style, which was interesting. Here's a very simple reflection sheet. They have a chance to reflect on things they did well, and there's another part which lets them reflect on the things they did badly. I think that using this kind of methodology really keys into the idea that motivation is dynamic and students need to know what subtasks they can do. And so the can-do list is giving them some subtasks rather than just the overall goal of, I want to speak like a native speaker, for example. So if we look at the dimensions of feedback, let's just come back and see that Flipgrid is very, very good in the long term. At the end of the year, they can look back and see their video at the beginning of the year and see how far they've come. Almost all students do increase in fluency in our college because we have quite an intensive CLIL program. And so looking back at their earlier videos is very morale boosting for them, as is getting peer feedback from the classmates who watch their videos. Thank you very much. Please drop in and see my poster or contact me by email. Now, I'm not good at ending this, but I'm going to stop recording.